Hi guys, welcome back to me darkroom. It's Saturday afternoon and I've got a bit of a darkroom session on my hands. I've got to make a few prints from the scooter rally on the Isle of Wight that I vlogged in my last video. So a few people have contacted me and I'm going to make them some prints from the negatives or the photographs that I shot at the scooter rally of the scooters. I've got my negatives here in my folder. From that, I shot 4 rolls of film at the scooter rally, so I'll show you the ones that I need to make prints of. I'm going to be using Ilford's multi-grade deluxe satin paper, but I'm also going to use the smaller 5x7 for my test prints rather than cut up the other paper. And if anyone wants one of these prints, I'll put the link in the description where you can get one from. Let's get on with it. I'll show you the negs that I want to make prints of. And if you're new to the channel, this is my darkroom. It's basically a shed in the garden. And I've got a Durst M605 enlarger. I've got a dog outside that's barking. He's going to drive me mad. George, shut it! He's deaf anyway, so he ain't going to hear me. These are my trays. For a little bit of a space saver, I've got my fixing tray at the top here. My development tray's there. This is my stop. This is my wash. And over there, I've got a sink as well with water. And I've got a hose that comes into the darkroom, but I often just use this, I don't know, 5 gallon or whatever it is, drum, and bring the water in. And over this side you can see I've got some dodging tools that I use, and for my safe lights I've got a little beehive light there, you can see. Over this side I've got a video light, an LED panel, a colour RGB LED panel, so that can go into red. That's perfect. I mean, when you set all these lights up for your darkroom, you just got to make sure that you test them and that they don't fog your paper. This is the light that I usually use to see my prints with, and this is another RGB light that I might use. I might turn that red if I need a little bit more light in here sometimes. And another safe light I use is this little SFLaB safe light. This has been quite handy in the darkroom. It's portable, it's rechargeable. I've featured this on the channel before. This was sent to me by the guys over at SFLaB. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in this. I don't profit from none of this at all. I'm just happy to help people. And this is my brand new easel that I've got. It's a 4-blade easel that was gifted to me by a good friend of mine. He sent me this lovely easel for my darkroom. My ones are getting a little bit tatty now. They're very old. Even though I will still use them, I've got this nice 4-blade easel to use, so I'm really excited about this today. And over here I've got this light from a hardware store. It's meant to be a ceiling light, but I jigsawed a hole in my worktop here, and there you go, there's my light panel. There's some of my negatives here that I took. It was a really great day at the scooter rally. I got some really nice photographs in, and I went to play with lenses and also have a little bit, you know, sort of a little bit of a play time with the different lenses and seeing what I can get. But you can see this is Kodak 100 T-Max. I developed this in burst speed developer, which I'm testing and playing around with at the moment, and they might look a little bit contrasty, maybe not contrasty, a bit dense, sorry, on the camera there, but let me tell you, they are fine for printing. Maybe I think I might have overdeveloped, or maybe I think I might have overexposed a little bit. It was a bright day. So these are the negatives that I came back with, and I'm just going to do some test prints. So we'll start off with a 2.5 grade. So there's a negative projected on the easel. Straight away you guys can see how, I would say, overexposed this negative is, or it's not grossly, it's easily workable, but on the video it's probably coming out even worse. So I'll take the 2.5 grade out and I'll go for a low contrast filter, and I'll do my tests on that. So this area is where the brightest part is on that bike, so that's where I'm going to cover just that area there. So let's do a test, and this is in f-stop, guys. This is f-stop printing that I'm doing, so my tests aren't in increments of seconds, they're in fractions of seconds, but it all makes sense to me. Either way, I could still use a 1, 2, 3 second timer or whatever, but I've just got used to using this way with this Filmomat f-stop timer. And in it goes, my test strip. So I'll just wait for that to come through, give it enough time to make sure it's fully developed, and then I'll stop it, fix it, and see what times, if I can find times on this test, I need to make my print with. Still a little bit more testing to go yet though. So I'll turn the camera off, guys. I'll show you it after I've done all these tests. I'll show you what I've done. So that was pretty nuts of a test, trying to build that contrast up, or trying to build the highlights up, I should say, with that contrast zero filter. So we've got one test here, which is 20 seconds. That was the original test I did. I just come away from doing the increments in the end and started to wing it. Test 2 was 40 seconds, still nothing going on there. Next one was test 2. This one was 71 seconds, and I started to get something, but I thought I need to bring that time down a little bit, so I just opened the aperture up by one stop, and this one was 40 seconds. But what I did with this one is it's not pre-flashing, but I just burst the paper with white light just to sort of put a little bit of density on top of it, so I can build on top of that for the highlights, and that seemed to start working. So that was 40 seconds. Sorry, this one here, actually, not that one, this one here. And I finished off with this one, which was with a little flash, 56.5 seconds, but I need to burn a bit more into this headlight and the other headlights. So I'm going to go ahead with a full print, and I'll show you that little flash that I did. It's not pre-flashing, I didn't do any tests for it, I just literally winged it, just to throw a little bit of density onto the paper. So you can see there's my timer, 56.5 seconds. So let's get a piece of paper out and we'll go through. This is the only way I'm going to be able to see what else needs doing, is by putting a whole piece of paper in and seeing where I need to go from there. And like any of us, I hate wasting paper. I'm always hopeful that my test strips will be the one, but generally you have to throw a bit of paper on there, full size, to see, you know, where you're going from there. Otherwise you're just going to be blind all the time, wasting more paper. So what I need to do is pre-flash that paper. Like I said, I've done no tests, it's not a real pre-flash, it's just a literal wing. So you'll see me on and off with the light to burst that paper with white light. And let's go for 56.5 seconds. And then on this I can see the dense parts, which are dark, such as the headlights. They look black from where I'm looking, the headlights. So I need to use my little burn tool, which is a piece of card with a hole in it, and just burn a few more seconds into those headlights. Otherwise they're going to be no detail in them. But I think this might be good. We'll soon see, eh? So we'll just turn the light on, and then I'll try and find those headlights somewhere. I'm not going to ruin the print by just going over some bits. So there's one headlight, just a little bit in there. I'm counting in my head. Let's go on to the next one now. And then there's one more at the back. So there's 3 headlamps I've just sort of tried to burn in. I'm moving the card around, if you can see that, so I don't want no sort of halo effect. So it blends it all in, and it goes into the developer. We'll see how this comes out. So I mean, for all I know, this could be bang on. But after this, each print, each rerun will be, or each print I should say, will be unique to itself because of the burning in that I'm doing. So they're all not going to be exactly the same. I like it that way as well sometimes. It's then got its own unique character, each print, so you can actually call it a one of one. But so far this is looking okay. I'm just concerned about the bike at the back, or the scooter at the back. But we'll keep developing it till it's fully developed, and then we'll put it under the light and have a look. But so far it's looking alright. And we all know that digital is far easier, much easier. If this was digital, I'd have nailed the exposure straight away, put it in the computer, thrown it into Photoshop, done a little bit of jiggery pokery, pulled it out the other end with an inkjet printer. This would have been done in 5 minutes, but to me, I prefer this hands-on process. I think it just means a lot more. You know, once you've made a print, especially this one, where you know that you've gone through a little bit of playing around, trying to get it as good as you can, it means so much more once it's framed and behind glass. Into the fixer now, so that was a stop bath. So we'll get it into the fixer, and then we'll see how it looks. And here we have it, there's that print. The tonality is amazing in it from that T-Max 100 film. And I've managed to, you know, burn these highlights in here from these headlamps, which are fine. All this side's perfect. It's just this one bike here, scooter, sorry, this one scooter here. This is the part of this one as well. But this one here, I just need to tone that down. So I need to use the burn tool here, which has got the hole in, and just burn around there for probably about another 20 seconds, just around here, just working my way around this area. These were about, I'd say about 5 seconds each. I thought there was another headlamp there, it wasn't, it was that. But these were about 5 seconds each, just burning those headlamps in. And there it is, my final print. So I've got all the detail in here. I burned in a bit more detail in the bike at the back, which I'm glad I did. And also this bit here, I just used my hands like so to cover this little tiny bit. So yeah, that's the print there. So now I've got my times from that set of negatives. All the other ones are going to be pretty much similar because the lighting was quite the same on that day. So I was going to make a couple more and I'll show you those at the end. And then we'll wrap this video up, guys. So this is the last one that I'm going to print. This is this Castrol scooter, and there was this lady sitting there with a cap, and the hat on, sorry. She had a white shirt, so I knew it would be quite a wide dynamic range on this to try and find. So I'm going for 56.5 seconds, but after about 40 seconds I'm going to start covering this area, so the rest of the time will just be on this lady, a white shirt and a white hat as well. So let's see how we get on. I'm not pre-flashing this one, by the way. I'm not flashing this paper, so I'm just going to cover this now for about 15 seconds or so. I went to a car show, I think it was a couple of years ago, and I vlogged. And I took a scrim with me, you know, a Light circular diffuser, and just getting close-ups, and I used that to diffuse the sunlight on the chrome, and it worked really well. But I mean, it was a faff walking around with that thing and pitching it up, you know, and trying to shoot with that in one hand, and the other hand had my camera. You just got to take it, it is what it is, you know. But it's no problem, these negatives in the darkroom to work with. It just takes a little bit of time. This one's coming out looking quite nice. And there it is there, look at that, no messing around, just one little tiny test strip, using the same times as before, and just covering this area. If I'd left that going, that would have gone darker and darker. But most importantly, I needed to get detail in this lady. So, and I've got it, so wonderful. So now I've made my prints, my 3 prints. I've got a selenium tonin. You notice I've got my gloves on. This stuff stinks, so I've got the door open in the shed. And it's only resin paper, so there's not really much. It's not like fibre where it's going to really soak into the fibres. So I'm just going to rinse this one more time and then pop it into the selenium toner. In it goes. You probably won't even see a difference, but at least I know then that the print is going to be, give it a little bit more protection over the years when it's framed. And so that's it, guys, that's the end of my darkroom session. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got to clean all my darkroom up now and make sure it's nice for next time. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, I'll put a link in the description to these prints if anyone's interested. These ones that I've done today in this session are already gone, but I'll be back in the darkroom to make reprints if anyone wants a print of what I've done in this session. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Catch you next time.